Hi, I'm Tom Zach from Aspecto, and today I want to talk to you about how to achieve end-to-end visibility in microservices using async messaging technologies like Kafka. When I say visibility, what I mean is the ability to get a more complete picture of what's going on in our microservices. I'll be doing that using OpenTelemetry and Zipkin. OpenTelemetry is a set of tools built to enable us to instrument our microservices, meaning they collect data from our microservices and let us export it into various targets, including Zipkin. Zipkin is an open source tracing system that includes a UI. To sum it up, for our scenario, you could think of OpenTelemetry as middleware that collects data and exports it to Zipkin. Now that you got the theory, let's dive into the code. You should know that you will be able to find a complete blog post with all the code samples, so no need to copy anything manually. Let's begin. In order for us to start, we need to have Kafka running in our machine. Kafka is using Zookeeper to store its metadata, and we use Docker Compose to run both of them. Now, as you can see, we have the host IP here. This is necessary because Kafka and Zookeeper are basically using a bridge networking, and it requires to have the host IP. This is why here in the command that I'm about to run, we are extracting the host IP from ifconfig in mech, and then sending it to Docker Compose, which in turn uses it and knows exactly what to do. We're not going to dive in there more deeper. You could read about it if you would like to in the Kafka Docker docs. Now that we got this, we can start running it. We have the Kafka.js running. Let's also run Zipkin, which is essentially the UI tool that we talked about to see the traces. I'm going to run it, and after running it, I am able to see it in the browser. For me to see it in the browser, I need to go to this address. Right now, I'm not going to see anything if I run this query, because we still didn't run anything. So let's talk about the actual code right now. We have two interesting files here. We have app.js and we have tracing.js. App.js is a simple Express.js file with nothing special inside it. You have produce, which sends a Kafka message to this topic name, and post endpoint, which once you post to it, just calls this function. No OpenTelemetry to be seen in this file as of yet. This happens in the tracing.js file. This file has a few interesting points to it. We have the node tracer provider and the Zipkin exporter. What's happening here is the node tracer provider is OpenTelemetry's way of actually performing the tracing and collecting the data. So you say which log level you want to see, and you have this plugins, which is like the Kafka.js plugin tells OpenTelemetry to gather data from Kafka.js requests. Therefore, we would be able to see these requests inside the Zipkin UI. This is enabled, so we know that it's going to work. And this exporter, which means the actual export of the data to Zipkin. Very, very simple code, provide a register, and we're done. Basically, this is ready to begin tracing and instrumenting our application. But we need a few more things before we start. Package.json, which has already all the OpenTelemetry packages. And also notice you have a node -r, tracing.js, and then app.js. This tells a node to basically first include this and only then include this file. This is essential for OpenTelemetry to be able to collect the relevant data. Now we're definitely ready to start our application, so I'm going to use my start script and just run it. npm start. It's listening on 8080, and then I can make a post request to actually save something to the message to Kafka. Hello World means it succeeded. Now we can go back to the browser and run query. And as you can see, we have a new request, HTTP post, a few seconds ago. The duration of it, how many spans. And we can start seeing more interesting stuff in here. You have the tags, you have flavor, you have which host was it, post method, which route was it, status code, status text. You can see for yourself. It's interesting data. And in more complex systems, you would probably even further extend the usage with it, and you may have even in your head a lot of other use cases where you could be using this. And I hope this was a useful tutorial for you and that you would enjoy it very much. And I wish you a great amount of luck.